The webinar is live now.
Thank you. So, Rajat, are we greetings to our esteemed guest and enthusiast of innovation. Thank you for joining us for a session full of knowledge, impact, and future. The topic of our webinar today is pioneering economic transformation with sustainable solutions. Today, we embark on an inspiring journey delving into the extraordinary narrative of our Startup Incubation and Innovation Center, SISC, at IIT Kanpur. Since its inception in 2000, SIC has been a trailblazer contributing significantly to shaping India's dynamic startup landscape. Our focus today extends to the pivotal role SIC has played in the startup ecosystem and Atmanirbhar Bharat mission. Through strategic partnership with Citi and unwavering dedication, SIC has become a driving force in India's journey towards self-reliance. The discussion revolves around the three key areas wherein SIC has made significant strides. Those are agri-tech, drone technology, UAV, and clean tech. These areas are not just technological domains, but they also represent pathways to a sustainable and prosperous future. SIC, with its wealth and expertise and the cutting-edge infrastructure, has been instrumental in navigating these paths, fostering economics, transformations, and steering towards a greener and cleaner tomorrow. Throughout our webinar, the distinguished speaker will illuminate groundbreaking contributions of SIC in each of these domains. We will ravel the impact on agri-tech, exploring how SIC has sown the seeds of innovation in agriculture. The sky is the limit as we navigate the realm of drone technology, understanding how SIC has taken a flight in shaping the UV's future. Lastly, we'll delve into clean technology, wherein city initiatives are paving the way for a sustainable and eco-friendly future. Let me introduce to our esteemed guest, Mr. Rajat Vardhan, who is a CEO and he's a co-founder of Agronex, a seasoned professional with 15 years of experience in rural marketing and agriculture tech. Leading the development of IoT-powered smart products, Agronex focuses on soil health solution for Indian farmers. Under Rajat's leadership, the company has garnered awards, recognition, and contracts with the vision of affordable and scalable IoT solutions. Rajat aims to enhance crop productivity, profitability, and sustainability in the Indian agriculture. He holds a bachelor degree in agriculture from Patna Nagar University and a PGDBM in agriculture business and management from the Venicom Pune. So I welcome Rajat. So Rajat, you can tell us about how your company has grown, what all you have developed in the soil technology, and please enlighten the area of expertise of yours. Over to Rajat.
Hello, Mr. Vishesh. Would you give me the option to share the screen, please?
Yeah, sure.
Access granted.
I had some issues, so I just downloaded it again and started it. Yeah. Can I now?
So, team, can you give the access for the screen share?
Already given.
Okay.
I hope
Yes,
my
Rajat.
screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah, Rajat, your screen is visible. Thank you. We can
First
go
of all,
ahead.
thank you
Proceed.
everyone for the opportunity. I had to restart my system just to restart the webinar from my side. On the at the outset, I thank Citi IIT Kanpur and everybody from the government to give Agronex this kind of opportunity. So I would, as the topic has been given to me regarding tech for soil health, I would like to take up a couple of minutes to share what we do from outside. What are the challenges which we see in bringing technology for the soil health, and then what are the different kind of IoTs which we see that are very promisingly Agronex is going to bring to the markets. So what is the problem we are working on? So you see that soil is one area which requires regular work, because every single season you go for Rabi, Kharif, or Zaid farming, a test is required, because with every passing season and every rain happening, the soil value gets a change. Now, if one has to test the soil, there are traditional methods which are available for last many years, and you call it wet chemistry based testing. The challenge with the wet chemistry based testing is that it is very costly, and if the technology is costly, it becomes pretty much difficult to replicate. But even if the government and different stakeholders take a call to bring up technology, the challenge is that with the recurring cost, it becomes very difficult to test soil at each passing season. Now, if you have a look at Indian data, we have got 140 million hectare of the land which requires soil testing in each season. Now, to cover up such sort of land, you need a technology which is very affordable, which is highly scalable, and at the same time, which is very simple to use. Now, now, since there is one aspect of the technology that you have to bring it, the other challenge is that because of excessive use of fertilizers, the soil is getting degraded with each passing season. Let me share some stats with you. In the last 15 years, the average organic carbon content of Indian soil has gone down to 0.3% from more than 1%, which it used to be many years ago. And at the same time, you are having expectation of growing more with each acre of land, because we have got a huge population which is coming up from across the globe. Now the challenge is any technology which you have to bring has to be affordable, has to be scalable, and there has to be a digital interface which allows user to quickly take a call, whether it is government, whether it is industry, and then farmer should be able to utilize the information in almost real time, so that they can be empowered enough to take a call regarding the crops they are growing and fertilizers they have to use on the ground. So what have we done in this regard? So we have brought Agronex Bhu Parikshak, which has got developed from the tech side. It has got developed at IIT Kanpur campus after a research of almost 6 years, led by Professor Jayant Singh. And this technology has been brought to the market from MVP to a complete industry-based product. Agronex has worked upon it, and this product is able to bring down the cost of soil testing significantly, and it is able to test the soil in just 90 seconds of the time. So the good part about this is that this is highly affordable, number one. Number two, this has got just one single power button, as you can see on the screen. So one has to push the power button, just pair the device to a smartphone, and then you can start testing the soil. That means anybody who can use a smartphone to test the soil can actually anybody who can have a smartphone to do any job can actually now test the soil, and effectively to cover up huge geographies which require soil testing. Bhu Parikshak is a solution to use.
Sorry to interrupt, Rajat. Can you please turn on the camera as well? We would
Sure.
like to see you. Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Yeah. So let me share from the slide I was there. So let's have a look on the features of this technology. So this Bhu Parikshak does not require any sort of chemicals or reagents. While it is undertaking the soil testing, it is using NIR spectroscopy, artificial intelligence, and machine learning as a tech stack. And then then any sort of data which is being processed by the system in real time, the user can see it on the dashboard. So whether it is the location of the farmer, plot size of the farmer, or it is the values which has come out of the soil sampling. And on one device in a day can test more than 250 samples. And if you compare it with the traditional technologies, which is able to just test 25 to 40 samples, this is able to test 250 samples in the same day. And as far as the costing is concerned, the effective cost of testing we have been able to bring down from 400 to 500 rupees in India. We've been able to bring it down to just 25 to 40 rupees per sample. So that is the delta difference. So here we see that any technology which has to be brought to agriculture has to be highly affordable and highly scalable, and that is where Bhu Pariksha actually fits in. And it can quickly read six parameters, which is major nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, organic carbon, clay, and CEC. It can quickly give the results. And here we have gone a step further. We have actually tied up with the industry partners, and with the support of the industry partners, we are able to provide fertilizer recommendations, number one. And number two, we are able to integrate product level recommendations as well. And needless to say, since India is a land of different languages and a lot of regional languages are spoken, we are currently present in 14 regional languages. So as to
Okay.
ensure whether it is a farmer from Assam, farmer from Jammu Kashmir, or farmer from Gujarat, or farmer from Kerala, all should be able to not just know the status of their soil, but they should be able to quickly understand how much fertilizer is to be used, and also in what frequency the fertilizer is to be used. Now, look at the direct benefit of such sort of technologies. The farmer is able to go to the nearby shop and they can actually buy fertilizers which are scientifically calculated, and based on that, they would be able to take a call how much of which category of fertilizer is to be used. And that also means that India also has, a lot of challenges as far as fertilizer usage is concerned by the farmer. There are a lot of geographies of Punjab and Haryana which have gone toxic as far as urea usage is concerned. Now, with this kind of tech, a farmer from Punjab, say Ludhiana or Fagwara, or near the border areas, they would be able to quickly decide why they should not use urea, or why they should use muriate of potash, or why they should use zinc, because that is what their soil requires,
Right.
and that is what is going to really benefit our farmers. And in order to ensure that a lot of rural entrepreneurs, they take a call to use the technology while remaining in the villages, and they should be offering testing as a service by our systems. We have also tied up with HDFC Bank to offer this on EMIs, and we are also in conversation with couple of NBFCs, so that who do not have a CIBIL score on the card, they should also be able to afford the tech and quickly provide soil testing as a service to the farmers. Now, the tech which I have just explained, we are using NIR spectroscopy and AIML. On top of it, we basically use Bluetooth 5.0 to connect the device to the systems. We are using Android 10.0 and above versions to connect the device, and we are using 5,500 mAh battery stack, BIS approved battery stack, to ensure that once the device is charged, they should be able to test 250 samples on one go. Now this becomes super important because soil testing window in India is just 150 to 180 days only. Now in these days only, you have to cover up 140 million hectare of the land. Now let me give you a very surprising number as far as the availability of soil testing laboratories in India is concerned. On every 92,000 hectare of the land, we have got just one soil testing lab. So that is the kind of gap we need to cover up. So if we do not have multiple thousand Agronex Bhu Pariksha kind of technologies replicated on the ground, it would be very, very difficult to test our soils across the country. Now, let us see what are the challenges when you bring technology into the soil health. There are multiple challenges which you have to tackle as a technology startup into the space. So you see, as you can see, India is divided into 15 agroclimatic zones, and there is further division into sub-agroclimatic zones of the country. Now, what does that mean in a naive terms? That every single agroclimatic zone has got certain variation as far as the values of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium is concerned, right? Now, here also, what happens is because of different soils we have, the variation also becomes complex because there are different soil types and there is different kind of flora and fauna, because of which the microbial population also varies.
Right.
And to tackle this, what you need to do is you need to go local. That means you should know what kind of agroclimatic zone does have what soil types, and those has what kind of ranges as far as these nutrients are concerned. So at Agronex, what we do is we have got almost 60% of our people working on soil day in, day night, and to ensure that all of these agroclimatic zones and subzones are mapped properly, so that we are able to help our farmers to a very greater extent and in a localized and more accurate manner. What are the other areas where we are working? I would like to share that we need to add more parameters. So there is
Superly, I have.
add more parameters as we go forward. And also we also see that in the time to come we'll be also bringing up solutions as far as soil microbial assessment is concerned. This becomes very very important because until unless we have complete information about the soil, which also includes the microbial population, it would be a little challenge for the farmers to and to suggest them, especially the biological fertilizers and biological nutrients. Now, since many pockets in India are actually growing organic food, and in order to support those farmers, especially the small holder farmers, it becomes very important that we work on soil microbial assessment as well. Then there is another area wherein we see that we should be bringing a solution is pest prediction. So you see that with multiple hundreds of crop being grown across 140 million hectare of the land, there are multiple thousands of pests which are attacking the crop, and it becomes very very important while we work in the area of soil, we work on the area of pests as well, so that we are able to help our farmers as far as understanding of the harmful pests is concerned, so that in the nick of time we are able to suggest farmers what measures to be taken in order to get away from such kind of pests which are not beneficial for the crop. And then with certain tie-ups and certain works which is underway at Agronex, we also see that we should be bringing up solutions in the area of crop yield prediction with the help of certain IoTs, and with our certain partners in place, we see that as a full stack, we should be bringing up water-based IoTs as well, so that for a farmer, it should be a complete stack of solution, right from soil to crop to pest to water. And that is how we see that by covering up each aspect for the farmer, we are able to truly help them. Let's have a look on how does we how does a growth in the IoT space in agriculture is coming up. I see that in the next 5 to 8 years of the time, with the advent of 3G, 4G, 5G, the use of digital content and acceptance of farmers using the smartphone is growing up, and this has also ensured that acceptance of farmer receiving services, especially the agri services which are coming up from IoTs, the acceptance of which is going on very high. And this is not just an India based trend. I see that this is a trend we should be working in many many countries across the globe, and a result to this would be a total market of almost 84 billion USD, which should be developed. And startups like us and many other startups who are working in the agri-tech space, they, especially in the case of IoT, they would be able to bring up their solutions, and they would be able to help farmers empowering them and ensuring that they get better yield and safer yield to consume. Um, there are a lot of partners across the country with whom we have been working, and we have been fortunate to be supported by big corporates, by a couple of state governments, by a lot of state agriculture universities and Krishi Vigyan Kendras. The list is getting bigger and bigger with each passing season, and that also shows that the faith of industry as well as the government is actually going very high as far as the solutions by startups are concerned. And this is very, very heartwarming that a solution which is developed, which got developed at India's premier institution, IIT Kanpur, is actually reaching multiple geographies. We actually foresee that not just in India, in next 5 years of the time, Agronex should be operational in all continents, and we should be having a good market in close to 50 countries, which we are targeting. Press has also been very, very kind towards what we have done, and what a bigger recognition one can expect when Honorable Prime Minister Modi speaks about the kind of important innovation which has been brought from IIT Kanpur, and media houses from across the country in many from the regional languages have also reported the kind of work which we are doing, and we are very thankful for them as well. And as we continue the journey, we look forward to seek more support from all of them. And how do we see? Because it is very important here on National Startup Day that I share where do we see ourselves 5 years down the line. Possibly it is going to inspire many new budding entrepreneurs from different geographies of the country, and those who are listening. We see that in next 5 years, we are going to deploy close to 60,000 IoTs. They would be working in the space of soil. They would be working in the space of pest prediction. They would be working in water space. And cumulatively, we see that with this, we would be able to help close to 3 million farmers. And that's the minimum number we foresee that we should be able to help. While Bhuparichak itself, in its lifetime, it can actually test 50,000 samples. So the numbers which we are expected to cover is going to be much, much higher. And we see that we should be able to cover up anywhere between 8 to 10 million acres of the land with the kind of IoT-based technologies we are bringing on. So for some of the accolades which we have got, so we have been in Maharashtra. We have been supported by Asian Development Bank as well as the World Bank, and we have been supported by this scheme. And we see that in next 3 to 4 months of the time, we should be significantly present with close to 250 FPOs in Maharashtra itself with the help of Asian Development Bank work. We recently won a big pitching competition, and I'm glad to share that Agronex has been the winner from Asia, and that brings a lot of happiness with our team to share this kind of achievement. And with this, I would like to close my presentation, and I'm open for any sort of questions if anybody has. I can be contacted at rajat@agronex.com. If there is anybody who would like to catch up with me, I'm happy to. Thank you.
So congratulations, Rajat, for recent accolades that you got, and that's a kind of a revolution in the agriculture or agri-tech that you have made. So I wanted to know how this how you're seeing the future of this particular tech, and if there is any evolvement that are coming out of this particular revolution.
Mr. Vishesh, one of the significant understanding we have been able to develop from the market is that now farmers are looking forward to have cutting edge technology getting deployed in their villages and in their farms. And second observation is that time has also come wherein farmers have started to accept payment for services which are digitally being given to them. So I foresee that in next 5 years of the time, Indian farms are going to have lakhs of IoTs getting deployed, and they would be as it reaches the scale, it is going to generate a lot of jobs, not just on the manufacturing side of IoTs, but also at the side of the service providers. I foresee that Indian villages are going to have lakhs of jobs getting created by the help of IoTs getting deployed and the service of IoTs which will be given to the farmer. And that is certainly going to ensure that the information is becoming digital, it is getting democratized, and the benefit of this should actually be flowing into our farmers.
Okay, and do you see the role of UAVs or drones in your technologies? How it can help in your technology or in your area of expertise?
So, Mr. Vishesh, there are certainly a lot of scope for all the category of UAVs. For agriculture, I see that currently you see that government of India has promoted drones, agriculture drones in India, and very recently a scheme has come up to support women self-help group workers to adopt providing drone-based solutions to the respective geographies they operate upon. I also see that it is going to actually revolutionize the way agriculture has been taken up. There are a lot of use cases which will actually come up beyond the spraying of pesticides or biologicals or liquid fertilizers in agricultural land. It is going to play a huge role as far as the pest prediction, yield prediction is concerned. It is also going to play a huge role as far as as far as transportation of agri produce is concerned. There are a lot of difficult geographies in higher hills of Himalayas as well as in northeast, wherein 30 to 40% of the produce is not able to reach their markets well within the time. So I clearly foresee that UAVs are going to ensure that fruits and vegetables, which are certainly perishable in categories, and other perishable material which are coming from agriculture, both from the side of fruits and vegetables as well as from the side of livestock, has a promising scope with the UAVs in India. I also see that since government is providing us a lot of support to the entrepreneurs who are entering to this field, both from the side of manufacturing as well as from the side of services, I see that this field is only going to become better and bigger and more to be adopted.
Great. Thank you for joining, Rajat, and thank you for enlightening with your product and about the agri-tech that you are using. So it's nice to have you here as a panelist.
Thank you, Vishesh. It was really a pleasure being here, and I thank everybody from the organizing committee, including City, IIT Kanpur, and the government authorities who have come up with this idea to organize the show on National Startup Day. It is certainly going to be a great experience for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Since Rajat highlighted the UAVs and the role of UAVs in agriculture, I would like to invite Professor Rajiv Sinha, who is a professor in the Department of Earth Sciences at IIT Kanpur. He is also a mentor at TerraQua UAV Solutions, which is an incubated company at IIT Kanpur. And Professor Sinha is a specialist in river and his extensive research in river processes, floods, morphodynamic modeling, and paleoclimatic reconstruct, delta process, and natural hazards. His contribution includes impactful projects like Ganga silt studies, groundwater modeling, and UAV applications for water quality mapping in Ganga River. As a national advisor and consultant, Professor Sinha actively engages in water-related projects showcasing expertise in earth sciences and environmental management. So, Professor Sinha, sir, I invite you here as a prime guest for this particular webinar, and I would like to know about the TerraQua UAV solutions that is your the company that you're mentoring. So, about that particular company and how it is evolving and how it is helping in current ecosystem. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Vishesh. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir. Very well.
First of
Thank you.
all, my sincere apologies for being late. We are actually in Kathmandu, and the Kathmandu traffic is world known. So
Yeah.
we got stuck. We had a meeting somewhere else, and we got a little bit late. But I was I could catch up the previous talk pretty good. So that's a good background to set up anyway. So let me start by, I hope you can see my screen. So this is a a small setup which we initiated in 2000 14, I think. And what we are trying to do is to look at the possible solutions which we can provide to different industries in terms of the UV applications, mostly application, but also the development of the new algorithms for for data processing and other things and so on. Now, as Rajat was speaking, the market and the developments in UAV has gone absolutely a leap in the recent years, with a lot of promotions happening from the government side, and also a lot of advancement in terms of the new sensor development and the UV development itself in India, for example. So it has seen a huge development in the last couple of years. There's a increasing demand of the UV related applications in many sectors. Agriculture is one of them, which Rajat was highlighting. Mining, infrastructure, energy, defense, and of course, a lot of application in disaster management. So we are doing several projects related to disaster management, which actually utilizes the UV in a very efficient way. Now, looking at the commercial side, the drone market size in India was estimated at about 0.92 billion US dollars in 21, which is likely to rise to something like 2.13 billion by 2027. And that's speaks the demand and the future actually this industry has, not just in terms of application, but also in terms of the opportunities for developing new technologies, new algorithms, new sensors, and of course, new areas of application as well. So that's where we are. As Rajat was pointing out, government has been very supportive so far in terms of initiatives for promoting the innovation and entrepreneurship related to the drone technology in two very distinct ways. Until about a couple of years ago, we had, even as a researcher, we had so much of difficulty in using drones in different areas because there were so many strict regulations to follow and permissions to obtain, which never would come anyway, and so on. So we had a lot of problems. But now, with this national drone policy, which was introduced in 2021, almost all the restrictions are gone except for certain zones, which I'll talk about. But apart from that, as a researcher or even as a commercial entrepreneur, you are no longer restricted to flying drones, in most of the areas. There's also a digital sky platform which is developed, and again, the Drones Innovator Network, Drone Federation of India, all of these institutions are promoting, supporting, and helping the users of drone and also the users of and development of the technologies. So this is what I was talking about, except for this red zone, which is defined as the high security zone, which typically includes airports and some defense installations and so on. Apart from that, most of the other zones we have no problem in flying drone. There are restrictions in terms of how much high you can fly, but again, this covers if you're flying at about 200 to 400 feet of the ground, it mostly covers most of the application. In fact, if you fly too high anyway, you lose the resolution and the advantage of using the drone technologies, because today even the satellite data are able to provide you the resolution of 2 to 5 meters. So if you obviously want to go further in terms of resolution, you need to fly lower and then therefore attain a very high resolution data. So these are other information which is important to know. There are DGCA, airspace maps. So before you start flying or start planning a project related to drone, you can easily find out which zone you actually fall into, and therefore what are the restrictions and regulations you need to follow, etc. But apart from that, most of the other areas, I think we still take precaution in terms of informing the local administration that we are doing it. And many times, or I would say most of the time, they're very supportive in actually even providing a security cover and some assistance as and when we require. So there is absolutely no problem in that so far. Now, the rise of the UAV-based, startups and technology has been phenomenal in India. Until a few years ago, we were all importing the cheap Chinese drones from everywhere. And now, of course, we have so many companies which have been set up, which are manufacturing all kinds of drone from fixed wing to hybrid to VTOL. There are autonomous flight systems being developed, in India. There are also sensors development is a little bit slow, I would think, because we are still importing most of the sensors from in somewhere, either in the West, UK or French and so on. But then that sector is also growing quite nicely. So the approximate drone market opportunity is projected to reach about 13 billion by 2030. So that's an estimate which are again based on some global data analysis and so on. So there's a huge opportunity coming up. Now, our company was founded a few years ago, and we are, very actively using multiple applications of related to drone, optical, multispectral, hyperspectral, and also lidar-based technologies, and we have all these sensors with us. We fly, we collect our own data for various applications, and then we have done several projects. Several of them are for the government agencies, but also for the private, agencies as well. So let me run through a couple of important projects which we have done in the last couple of years that highlights the diversity and the expertise our company has achieved in the last couple of years. So, we have done several cutting edge innovations in terms of integrating different kinds of sensors. Buying these sensors and integrating them with the drone is not a trivial thing, which we must understand. Uh, you know, uh, the data collection, achieving perfection in the data collection and the desired accuracy is a bit of a challenge. And we took quite some time to integrate different kinds of sensor, thermal, hyperspectral, lidar, etc., to the drones which we had. We had to design several attachments, several accessories in our own lab, even do the 3D printing and everything to fix it, and also look at the circuits. And so a lot of development happened at the company end to make sure that the sensors are giving us the data which we want. Then we moved into different kinds of applications, from agriculture to environmental monitoring, water quality, sand mining, river rejuvenation, and so on. We have done a number of projects in the last couple of years, and we are, as I said, several of these projects are related to the societal, implication, have a societal implications as well. So we will highlight a few of them for today in the sake of time and other things. So, for example, we've been looking at river science and river related studies have been a very major focus of our company, and we have looked at the sedimentation problem across the river. This was a work which we did for Bihar government. We also looked at, we also contributed towards the development of an early warning system in the higher Himalayas, where we looked at, we provided a very high resolution dam on which the entire hydraulic model was developed, and then they're now setting up the early warning system based on the forecasting which we provided out of that modeling, etc., and so on. Then we have been looking at a lot of water pollution studies in different parts, different settings. For example, you can see a nice plume of the pollution in the images. This is an image from the Ganga River, very close to Jajmau, and you can identify this is a processed image from the drone, and you can identify the clean water and then the polluted water quite nicely. The right-hand side image is an image of the Usman Sagar Lake, from Hyderabad, and again, the images, quite nicely show you the level of pollution in different parts of the lake, and also we characterize them what kind of pollution these are based on our geochemical analysis, and we could actually provide. This was again a project done for HMDA of Hyderabad, etc., and so on. Then in the agriculture sector, we have had several projects which are related to, apart from the projects and the application which Rajat talked about, which mostly relates to the delivery of the products, from grains to seeds to spraying and other things. We are not into that. We are trying to do a lot more scientific development in terms of, for example, estimation of the land surface temperature from the thermal cameras mounted on drone, which has a huge implication in terms of calculating the soil water stress, and therefore converting that data into efficient agriculture water management. Because, in India, we still follow a very extensive inundation technology, as we call it. Farmers are just inundating the field without even realizing when and how much water is actually required for agriculture, etc., and so on. So what we are trying to do is to develop, ideas and technologies which can eventually help develop the precision agriculture. Basically, that's what we are doing. So if you can estimate on an annual cycle what is the soil water requirement for different kinds of crops, then we can actually advise the farmers as to when and how much water he should be putting in, and for which crop. So that can lead to a huge saving in terms of the water and so on. So that's the kind of an idea which we are trying to promote. We have had some research projects as well funded by ISRO. They are interested in this whole technology. We are also upscaling it, this whole technology, to a satellite-based satellite database estimation as well, which is what ultimately will be implemented by the agencies and so on. This is again a example where we are trying to do a crop water monitoring. So we use various kinds of indices, for example, NDVI and VTCI. These are the indices, and you can see in this image that in India, like country, why this technology is important is because we actually can see a cropland scale diversity in the system. If you go from one, this is not like a Western country where you can walk for miles and you will find the same crop, wheat or rice, growing everywhere. So here, every little crop field has a different, crop growing, different kind of soil, for example, different kind of, and therefore they need a very high resolution data for developing a crop water management strategy. This is therefore we cannot import the kind of algorithm technology which is from the West, which is based on a very different terrain and very different system actually. So this kind of a data, which is actually giving you on the right hand side, this is a VTCI index, which basically tells you what is the stress each crop field actually has, and you can see the variability at each crop field. So each of the square which you see is a single crop field. This is a data which has almost 25 centimeter of resolution, and at each crop you can see that the stress levels of in terms of crop water requirement is actually very different. So practically, you can actually advise individual farmers in terms of the water requirement for his crop at any given time. So that is the level of accuracy and the level of precision one can actually provide with this kind of a data. So this is a several scale up from the satellite based data applications. Now, so again, these are general stuff. I mean, therefore, the role of drones in enhancing the agri-tech in India is absolutely immense. We have precision agriculture, we have very efficient crop monitoring. I haven't talked about that much, but then, this kind of high resolution data can actually give you a lot of information about the crop health itself, because the plant canopy has very different reflections, very different signals if they are suffering from any kind of a crop disease, or if they are, so simply apart from the water stress, the nutrient level in the crop, the specific disease in the crop, all of them can be detected from the high resolution data which we can actually use. So not just thermal, but also hyperspectral data is now becoming very common to map the different kind of crops, and also for monitoring their health, in due course of time. And then, of course, as I said, it can offer you opportunity for optimum resource management by literally providing with real-time data. So that's the role of the drones in enhancing agri-tech. Then, of course, there are increased efficiency. We can do drone data is something which you can obtain anytime, anywhere, and except, of course, for weather, except for very adverse weather conditions. So you can apply and fly these drones anywhere, and we have all the available expertise and technology to do that. Enhance crop yield, of course, and then the environmental sustainability. So there are techniques which you can minimize if you can, monitor the health in terms of not just in terms of water, but also in terms of application of the chemical pesticides or consumption, or so in a way you can promote the eco-friendly agriculture in many ways, using a very high resolution and very quick kind of a data sets. Then this again, leads to the clean tech initiatives in India as well, because as I said, we have done projects which are related to mapping the water quality in different water bodies. And again, why these technologies are superior from the ground-based technologies, because Ground-based water quality data, gives you a point data set. It doesn't give you a spatial distribution of the water quality anyway. That's number one. Second, you can, if you get a plume-like, images on the UV data, you can actually track the source from where the pollution is coming from, and then also the distance to which it is dispersing. So that entire dispersal pattern can be mapped. And if the technology permits, we have a major project running at the moment, which is R&D funding I'm leading, which is looking at actually specifying the type of pollutant as well, in terms of specific pollutant, for example, the metal pollution or nitrate pollution and so on. If that, we are successful in that, we can implement all of that stuff out here. Then there are, of course, we have done some projects on inspection of the solar panels. Again, very efficient, because the thermal panels, there are hundreds of solar panels installed. If one panel is malfunctioning, it's absolutely impossible to pinpoint which one of these is malfunction. But again, UV technology provides you a very good opportunity, because that single panel will reflect so differently in the thermal behavior, that you can pick up the temperature difference quite nicely. So out of 1,000 panels installed at a given site, you can actually pick one panel which is malfunctioned by just using one flight, and there's very quick processing kind of a data. Then, of course, there are disaster response reliefs, which are becoming much more common, not just for supplying the material, but also sometimes providing information and accelerating the understanding the ground conditions, and therefore enhancing and improving the recovery process, for example. But then there are, of course, we have had challenges and opportunities. We have had rather restrictive regulatory framework, which has not allowed the drone industry to grow in past years. But now, of course, we have a much better environment to do that. There are technology investment required, particularly in terms of sensors. We need to have more investments, more R&D, and more companies which are interested in developing the in-house sensors. We are now able to put up the different components of the drone, at home, but then still the integration of the sensor and the development of the sensor itself is not really that much. Again, we have to invest a little bit more in terms of skill development. Flying drones, collecting images is not enough. Processing that data to the level of precision you want, and the type of information you want to deliver, is not a trivial job. Again, unfortunately, most of the drone-based companies which are providing the data services, particularly, they are not doing the adequate job, because the quality of data and the processing technique they are applying is absolutely at a low level. So we need to have a lot of trained skill development activities, which we are trying to get into slowly with time. And that's all I think I have to say. This is if you want to get in touch with us, we are here based in the campus. Me and my students, all of are located in campus. We have a small office in the Ldco County as well. So please get in touch as and when you want to get any more information. Thank you again so much for inviting us, and it was a pleasure interacting with you. We can't hear you, Vishesh.
Sorry. So I was on mute. So thank you, sir, for highlighting all your drones are doing right now. So that's a cutting edge technology that we are receiving from your organization, and it's really changing the drone ecosystem in India. So congratulations for that, and thank you for contributing with such a great effort to this particular technology. And thank you for joining this webinar, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sinha. So glad to see you.
Hi, Nikhil. Good to see you.
Namaskar. How are you, sir?
All good, all good.
With that, so I'm gonna invite Dr. Nikhil Agarwal, who is our CEO, a foremost expert in startup ecosystem and innovation and policy. Currently serves as CEO for both SIC and AID at IIT Kanpur. Overseeing India's largest tech incubator, he has very impactful journey that includes role as a vice chairman of Milab in collaboration with the government of Maharashtra, as well as he served as CEO of APIS in Andhra Pradesh, holding an MPhil and PhD degree both from University of Cambridge. And with 2 decades of experience, Dr. Agarwal has founded businesses and advised global firms and led initiatives recognized internationally. His extensive contribution includes leadership role in WBAF and the United Nations, Lokesh, a remarkable career in promoting and innovation and governance. So welcome, Dr. Agrawal, and welcome, sir. I would like you to highlight us with your SIC journey and how SIC have evolved from in past decades. And thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Vishesh. First of all, very happy National Startup Day. I think a lot of people celebrate festivals and for based on religion, on caste, on days and geography. I think for us, the startups, I think the most important festival is the National Startup Day. It's certainly a proud moment for us. The startups are able to make so much of impact, not only in our country, but worldwide, that there is a full-fledged day now established for the Startup Day. And that has demonstrated that how the startup ecosystem has changed. Many of you, I was just reading an article and many of you know that what kind of impact the startups are making. You maybe keep on hearing the stories about Zomatos and Oyorus of the world, but the startups have dramatically changed the ecosystem in last few years. So the startups like IT industry for last 30-40 years has been sort of beacon for innovation and the flag bearer for India across the world. So do you know what is the size of the IT industry today in the country? The IT industry in a whole, including all the top names like TCS or Infosys and everything, is close to just $250 billion. The total direct employment in IT industry today is close to around 3.5 million people, which is 35 lakhs people. Now, as compared to startups, if you look at, the startup contribution is almost doubled in terms of workforce. The startups today employ more than 6.5 million, 65 lakhs people. The total amount of contribution which has done to the economy is close to $350 billion. Now, if you look at the company like Zomato, Zomato was started just 13-14 years back, and now it is almost 1.5 lakh crore company. How many companies we can think of are 1.5 lakh crores? Very few of them in the country. Still very few of them in the country. Today, there was an interesting article about in which year and which company we may see a first trillionaire company in the country. Like you have seen the companies abroad, particularly in US, Apple has become a $1 trillion company. Microsoft has become a $1 trillion company. NVIDIA has become a $1 trillion company. We may even see individuals becoming a trillionaire, like Elon Musk is now $230 billion US. He may become a trillionaire if his SpaceX and other companies do well. And of course, Tesla is doing well. He may become a trillionaire individually. But when in India, we will become a trillionaire. So 3 companies have come out on the top of the name, and the date which was given is around 2032. So that means 9 years from now or 8 years from now, we may see a first Indian $1 trillion company, and 3 companies there is no guess in, I'm sure most of you may know if you track the market, is Reliance Industries, is Bajaj Finance, and third one is SDFC Bank. And if they maintain the growth of 20-25%, they will become a $1 trillion company. Now, interesting part is certainly because these companies are growing tremendously. What comes at the back of these $1 trillion companies? Now, if you look at the back of these $1 trillion companies, it's come immense innovation that they are able to do. If you look at Apple, if you look at Microsoft, the Microsoft has defined and has the whole way that we even look at, even Microsoft today, if you look at, Microsoft invested $10 billion in OpenAI when nobody was talking about AI. That kind of investment they have done. And now when the OpenAI came with the whole ChatGPT, everybody is talking about that, how the AI is shaping our future and whatnot. Look at NVIDIA, the kind of investment they have done for their new GPU manufacturing, semiconductor manufacturing is tremendous. Look at Apple. Apple is transforming itself from just a phone making company to everything else. Apple, in fact, I was reading an article, they said that Apple wants to become a health tech company in the future. Apple investing more money in health tech than anything else because they are able to track your health. You are wearing Apple watches. Most of you are wearing Apple watches or likes of Apple watches. You're continuously getting tracked. Those people like me who don't wear the Apple Watch, but sometime in fact, in 1 or 2 weeks' time, I always look at that how many steps I have done, just using tracking the phone. So Apple is transforming itself being a communication company to health tech company because there is a lot of services can be provided. Look at the companies which are the candidates to become a $1 trillion company in the country. Reliance, SDFC Bank, and Bajaj Finance. There is a separate program running in all the three companies focusing on startups. SDFC for startup, like SIIC, has been one of the earlier recipients of SDFC for startup. We receive quite a handsome amount of money every year promoting the startups. SD has a separate division for startups. They have started participating in the startup ecosystem by giving them debts, by even investing in them, participating in them. And every single event, whatever we do at SIIC, SDFC is a part of it. Bajaj Finserv has a separate division which is focusing on startup and innovation. They are focusing a lot. New companies they are trying to invest for fintech area. Reliance, if you see, the Reliance story is an innovation story. A lot of people like or dislike Reliance, but the Reliance set up India's, I would say, the largest startup in the history of India. $26 billion they invested in Jio. Imagine the kind of money that they invested. And today we look at Jio is one of the largest telecom company in the world. And not only they invested money in the Jio, they started doing hundreds of type of activities in innovation as a part of Jio. Whether bringing Meta platforms as a part of it, whether building their relationship with Microsoft, whether launching new kind of experiences, whether it's coming with a phone, in the first indigenized phone. So Jio is working on that. Now, the whole ecosystem is changing. Every single corporate. 20 years back, there was a very interesting article which came into the Harvard Business Review, which says there are two types of CEOs in this world. The first CEO is looking for collaboration. Is going global. Yeah. So the exact title was that there is one CEO who is going global and another CEO who's looking for a job. Now today, the same article is rewritten again. Probably it will say that there are two types of CEOs in this world. One is looking and working on innovative practices or working on innovation, another looking for a job. Every single company you pick up today, they are looking to find new solutions while working on the new products. And how they can do it? The corporate innovation is extremely expensive. Today, if we look at examples, today the Tatas of the world or in ITCs of the world has to do innovation in-house, it will be quite expensive for them. That's the reason the large company put out extra amount of money to buy innovation from the market or to collaborate with the innovative teams so that they can experiment, they can do the low-cost innovation and then give out the problem statement to these teams, let these teams solve this problem statement, and then give back innovation back to the corporate. That's how these teams are changing. New ideas, new things which are coming up. Now you can look at the speakers today. Professor Rajiv Sinha, who is a PhD in Earth Sciences, is working on the drone technology. Now he's using his expertise on understanding that how the whole geography works and implementing this using the high cutting edge technology. If you look at Rajat Vardhan has a different background altogether. He has collaborated with the IIT Kanpur in doing the technology transfer for soil testing. And now he has built one of the finest miniaturized device to soil testing, which can test the soil within 60 seconds. Now this device is now closely looked by Godrej, by Escorts, by ITC. Large corporate are in awe of this device and saying that, hey, can we collaborate on something? I had last week itself, I had a conversation with Rajat. I said, Rajat, you cannot just become a one product company. You have to look at how you start building up multiple products. So even the new startups are looking for ideas that they can build up multiple products. They can solve these problems. The problems which are not solved by Godrej Group or Escort Group or ITC Group, a small company from IIT Kanpur is able to solve that problem. And not only this problem, the future problem can also be solved using this. So I think we are sitting on a cusp of transformation. And I am 100% sure, since today is a National Startup Day, I'm absolutely 100% sure that by the election, we would be a $4 trillion economy. I think we are already $3.8 trillion economy or so. We will be $4 trillion economy. Now, in next few years, it is like we are on a cusp, or I would say we are sitting on a tipping point. That if there is enough effort we would do as a nation, as a startup community, I think we can play a role where we can become almost 10 to 15% of the GDP as a startup economy. There is a possibility of doing this. Now, no other industry has done it till date, other than agriculture. No industry has done it, like contributing so much significantly to the GDP in one way or other. So there is a possibility of doing this. I think there is an opportunity to do this. There is enough appetite in the market from funding perspective, from solution perspective, from the buyer perspective. We have to just keep on doing it. IIT Kanpur, you'll be very proud to know that today we were ranked number 1 last year. Hopefully, we will be able to maintain the position, and I'm sure the kind of work which people like Professor Sinha or Rajat Vardhan and anybody else is doing, I'm sure not only will maintain our position for this year, we will be propelling in this position further in the next few years' time. But the competition at the same time, we need to be also aware that there is a stiff competition within the country. And if you look abroad, certainly it's a more stiffer competition across. So we cannot just sit and relax. We have to continuously work, we have to continuously evolve, and we have to continuously look for new avenues to work on. So thank you very much. It was lovely speaking to you. And once again, happy National Startup Day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining and giving us such a precious time. Next, I will call upon Mr. Gaurav Rawal, research scientist from Fool.co. Everybody knows Fool. It's been a very promising brand in recent years, and it's been from Kanpur. So we are proud of that. And Kanpur-based flower cycling brand holds holds a prominent role in actually sustainability of the flowers and flower related products. Wherein, if I talk about Gaurav Rawal, he holds PhD in chemical engineering from IIT Kanpur, specializing in innovative and sustainable practices. Mr. Rawal contributes to Fool company research endeavors. His academic background and role as a research scientist underscore his expertise in chemical engineering. So, under Fool, his contribution is dedicated to eco-friendly initiative, aligning with his commitment to advancing sustainable solution in the floral industry. Over to you, Gaurav, and thank you for your time being here.
Yeah, thank you for the lovely introduction, Vishesh. So I am a research scientist at Kanpur Flower Cycling, also known as Fool. So what we do is like we upcycle waste temple flowers. So that is one of the things that people know. So that is just one of the problems that we are solving. So for like, if we talk about like upcycling waste temple flowers. So like before Fool was launched or it became a name, people hardly knew that it is a problem. Like every one of us, like we go to temples, we like offer flowers to our gods, and we never knew the aftermath of this problem. Like you will not imagine, like almost 550 million tons. Like this is a number that is like the number of flowers that are offered to gods annually, like just annually. And it's just like imagining that like this as a problem, that itself is a big deal, like for us, and then solving it. So when we started this company, we started with like solving this problem by converting this waste into valuable products. Like we want to offer the same flowers to gods as incense sticks and incense cones. So we didn't know that brand will become like this big. We started with 4 employees, and we started like harvesting or collecting almost like 4 or 5 kgs, let's say maximum like 50 kgs a day. That was our capacity when we started. Now we upcycle more than 1 ton, 2 ton a day in a single plant. Now we have a multiple plants, and so our journey started with that. By like our main goal was to upcycle these waste temple flowers, but at the back of our mind we wanted to develop a innovative solution. Like, can we do something more with this? Can we develop something else that we can solve some other problem? So we moved on to Floraform. So Floraform is a natural 100% biodegradable alternative to styrofoam, and it is 100% it's made from agricultural waste and floral waste. So, like, if you know styrofoam is your fifth largest pollutant in the world. So it does not degrade, and it is not fire resistant, and it has been used in packaging industry for a long time. If you go to Delhi or some other major city, you'll find like in the outskirts of Delhi, the major waste where the waste is segregated, you'll find a lot of styrofoam or packaging thermocol there, and it does not degrade. You cannot even burn it because it will produce harmful gases. For example, benzene. Like, it is made from benzene and styrene. So when you burn it, it will produce cancerous gases. So solving that problem was our second goal, and we made Floraform that contains 80 to 90% agricultural waste and some natural products. It is 100% biodegradable. It degrades within 90 days, and it is fire resistant. And while developing this thing, sorry, yeah, I know there's a sound disturbance. Actually, I'm a little bit outside. So, yeah. So while solving that problem, like, nature actually gave us the solution itself for leather. 100% biodegradable vegan leather. It is also made from waste, organic waste, like any type of waste. We can use agricultural waste or temple floral waste for that process. And we started in IIT Kanpur lab, SIC, and now we have our own R&D facility in Kanpur, and we have a pilot plant that can produce like 10,000 square feet a month of leather. So we started with a very small problem of upcycling waste temple flowers. Then we went on to solving another problem of agricultural waste, and then the tanning problem of leather. The leather industry, it actually releases a lot of effluents into like Ganga, if we talk about, like, let's say Kanpur. So it is one of the major reasons for pollution, the leather tanning industry, and we are solving that problem itself, apart from animal cruelty, which is one of the like bigger problems of animal leather. So I, like, on National Startup Day, I suggest, like, if you start solving a single problem, like, you as Dr. Nikhil Agarwal rightly said, you should not become a single product company. You should diversify. You should start thinking like what other problem you can solve. Like, keep your ideas open, keep your mind open. Yes, like, this problem we can solve. And I rightly agree with sir that right now we are at the cusp, and in India we can actually like solve multiple problems, and we have that capability, we have that resources, and people like City, they are helping us in growing. For example, like, I tell about us, like, last year we got that City grant. We were struggling, or like we were managing to convert our leather tanning process, because we are working on a new product, and the tanning is totally different. We cannot look from leather industry. So the process was totally different. Apart from the financial help, we got like mentorship from City. There were bi-weekly calls. We were guided through, and the networking was huge. We were getting good connections from leather industries. We were getting mentorship from professors in IITs and other like leather technology institutes. We were able to develop a proper tanning technology with the help of that City grant. Like financial, I know that it's a big thing, the financial help that you get. But apart from that, City was able to provide us the networking opportunity, the visibility, and specifically the mentorship. So I would like to conclude by thanking IIT Kanpur, like in specifically helping us reach Citibank, in helping us in like starting Pool. And I would like to thank Citibank also. Like with their help, we were able to actually grow and develop a tanning technique for our product Fleather. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you for highlighting your success with the City grant and with the Fleather technology that you developed. So I've seen the product. That's a nice product that you have developed, and it's quite eco-friendly. So congratulations on that. Thank you, our esteemed guest today, for joining. And we were celebrating this National Startup Day, and this is quite a remarkable day for all the startups and all the incubators, because this startup ecosystem has changed a lot in past few years. I would say mainly post-COVID, it's been quite advancements in technology that we have seen through, and quite of good tech startups or deep tech startups have evolved in during this time. So it's a nice period that we have. We are enjoying this period as or we will say that we are rising up. India is rising up with this particular startup ecosystem. So thanks everyone, and I'll conclude with the thanks to all our esteemed guests for joining, taking out time from their busy schedules. Like Professor Sinha is in Nepal and he's out for certain work, and he's taken out time for us. Likewise, Gaurav was also traveling and he took out time. And Mr. Rajat, definitely you are also you gave a lot of enlightenment on the agri-tech and the soil tech that you were working on. So everybody, thank you for joining this particular webinar, and thank you for giving your time for this particular day. And have a good day ahead, and have a good and nice year, I would say, and the future. Good future to everyone. Thank you.